My college fund didn't just vanish into thin air. My Aunt Donna wore it as a designer dress to a wedding I paid for. I stared at a bank balance of exactly $214 while she toasted to family values with my dead grandfather's life savings. She told me to be happy for her daughter's big day, so I decided to make her wedding reception a night the entire Ohio elite would never forget. If you think blood is thicker than water, wait until you see what happens when $40,000 goes missing. Let me take you back to how it all started. My name is Kayla. I'm 32 years old, I live in a suburb outside Columbus, Ohio, and I am not a confrontational person by nature. I grew up being the good kid in my family, the one who sent thank you cards, who showed up early to Thanksgiving dinner to help set the table, who never caused drama at Christmas. I was the kid adults pointed to and said, "Why can't you be more like Kayla?" I hate that I was that kid now, honestly, because being that kid meant everyone assumed I'd just quietly absorb whatever was done to me and smile about it. My grandfather, Papa Ray, was the kind of man who worked at the same factory for 34 years and never once complained about it. He drove a 2003 Chevy pickup until the day he died. He didn't take vacations, he didn't eat out much, he saved. That was his whole thing. He saved. And when I was born, he opened a dedicated educational trust for me. He added to it my whole childhood. By the time I was 18 and heading to Ohio State, it had grown to just over $40,000, enough to get me through 4 years if I was careful. He made my Aunt Donna the trustee because she lived closest to the bank and because, back then, she seemed responsible. Papa Ray passed when I was a sophomore in college. I never had a reason to check the account closely because my first 2 years of tuition came out exactly right. No problems. I trusted the process. I trusted her. She was family. So when I logged into the trust portal the August before my senior year, I actually thought it was a glitch. The balance was $214, not $21,400, $214. I sat there in my apartment staring at the screen for a long time. Then I called the bank. And after 45 minutes on hold, I got a real human being who told me that the trustee, my Aunt Donna, had made a series of withdrawals over the previous 14 months, totaling $39,847. I had to sit down on my bathroom floor. I'm not exaggerating. My legs just stopped working. I called Donna. She picked up on the second ring, which told me she'd been expecting this call. She wasn't panicked, she wasn't apologetic, she was breezy. She said, and I am giving you her exact words here, "Kayla, honey, I borrowed it temporarily for Madison's wedding. You know how important this is for our family. You'll be fine. Just take out a student loan. Everyone does it. You should honestly just be happy for family right now." Be happy for family. I want you to sit with that for a second. This woman stole my dead grandfather's gift to me, money he worked his whole life to save, spent it on a wedding for her daughter, and then told me to be happy about it. Madison's wedding was a big deal in our family. Her fiancé Tyler came from serious money. His dad owned 3 car dealerships in the area. The whole thing at Ridgewood Country Club ran somewhere north of $80,000 from what I'd heard. Live band, custom floral arrangements, a photo booth with a neon sign, a raw bar. A raw bar in Ohio in November. And part of the funding for this spectacle was my college education. I told Donna I needed the money back before the semester bill came due in 3 weeks. She laughed. She actually laughed and said, "That's not really possible right now, sweetie." Then she told me that Papa Ray would have wanted the family to celebrate together. She literally tried to put my dead grandfather's voice in her mouth to justify stealing from me. That was the moment something in me went very cold and very quiet. I did not yell at her. I did not post on Facebook. I did not say a word to anyone in the family. I got off the phone, made myself a cup of coffee, and started making a list. Here's what I did over the next 8 weeks while everybody was busy doing final dress fittings and tasting wedding cake. First, I went to the bank and got a full transaction history of the trust account, every withdrawal, every date, the purpose codes where they existed. I also got a certified copy of the original trust document, which clearly stated funds were to be used exclusively for my educational expenses. Donna hadn't even tried to hide the withdrawals. They were just straight transfers into her personal checking. No documentation, no promissory note, nothing. Then I went to a civil attorney. Consultation cost me $200 I put on a credit card. The attorney told me that what Donna did was textbook breach of fiduciary duty and that I had an extremely strong case for full recovery plus interest. He also pointed out that amounts over $6,500 would need to go through civil court, but anything under could go through small claims. So we got strategic. I filed a small claims case for $6,500, the maximum in Ohio at the time, and a separate civil suit for the remaining balance plus interest. 2 cases running simultaneously. Now, here's the part I want you to understand. I didn't file right away. I waited because I needed the timing to be perfect. Madison and Tyler's wedding was November 14th at Ridgewood. I watched the RSVPs go out on Facebook. I watched the venue get tagged in posts. I knew the exact schedule because my mother, who had no idea what was happening, shared the itinerary on the family group chat. Ceremony at 4 p.m., dinner at 6, speeches starting at 7:30. Donna, mother of the bride, was scheduled to speak at 7:45. I hired a process server. I told him exactly what I needed and when. I paid extra for the specific timing. He wore gray slacks and a blue blazer. He looked like any other wedding guest walking through that country club entrance. At 7:43 p.m. on November 14th, while Donna was standing at the microphone in front of 180 people, Tyler's wealthy parents in the front row, talking about how much she loved her daughter and how proud she was and how this was the happiest day of her life, my process server walked up to the table where she left her purse and clutch and waited. She came back to her seat to applause and sat down. He leaned over, placed 2 envelopes in front of her, said, "Donna Hargrove," loud enough for the table to hear, and said, "You've been served." I wasn't there in person, but 3 different people who were there called me within the hour. My cousin Rachel said Donna went white as a sheet. Tyler's mother apparently picked up one of the envelopes that slid toward her, looked at the header, civil complaint, breach of fiduciary duty, and immediately whispered something to Tyler's father. Rachel said the table got very quiet very fast. The reception did not recover. Tyler's family had questions after that night, serious questions. They hired their own attorney to find out whether Donna's financial mismanagement created any liability that could touch Tyler and Madison's new shared finances. The answer was no, but the damage was done. Tyler's parents made it clear they were stepping back from the big family investment property plan they'd apparently been discussing with Donna. That deal, whatever it was, evaporated. Donna tried to fight both suits. Her attorney sent a letter claiming the withdrawals were informal loans with verbal repayment agreements. The judge in small claims took about 11 minutes to rule against her. The civil suit settled 4 months later for the full remaining amount plus 8% interest. Donna sold her Lexus GX, the one she'd been posting about on Facebook with the caption, "Treating myself," the same month she took my last withdrawal, to cover the bulk of the settlement. She also had to liquidate part of her own savings account. I received every cent. She has not spoken to me since. My mother thinks I was too harsh. Some aunts and uncles took sides. Thanksgiving was awkward last year and probably will be again this year. I genuinely do not care. Here's where I am now. I finished my degree. I'm working in healthcare administration, making decent money, have a small house with a mortgage I can actually afford, and I've started my own savings account, just like Papa Ray did, where I put $200 every single month without fail. I sleep fine at night. Great, actually. Donna's daughter Madison is still married to Tyler. Good for them. I mean that. Madison didn't steal anything, but I heard through my cousin that things are pretty strained between Madison and Donna right now over the whole thing. Apparently, Tyler's family brings it up sometimes. That's not my problem, and it's not something I wanted. I just wanted what was mine. Papa Ray worked 34 years at that factory so I could have a chance. He drove that beat-up truck so I wouldn't have to start my adult life drowning in debt. The least I could do was fight for what he left me. Be happy for family. No, be accountable to family. That's the one that matters.